Hi everyone, this is Katie from the Dallas office. This week with our intern project we talked about the Ryan team structure. I interviewed Michael Garcia and Chris Ulrich interviewed Steve Thompson in DC. And I just watched the videos, and basically what I did was I just kind of wrote down a couple of the things that I thought of while I was watching those videos, and I just want to share that with y'all. First off, Steve mentioned that, or he explained kind of the positions that you go through at Ryan. And, as an intern, we know they're there, but I never really knew what the responsibilities are. So it's kind of neat to hear that because now, I know what I have to look forward to when I do start working as a consultant here. The next thing that I noted was, Steve talked about how you had more access to your managers, and it's definitely something that I've experienced here at Ryan. For instance, I can go to my manager and say, okay, I've had this issue come up. Is there any precedents for it or anything that I don't know about that would help me, determine the taxability? And she may know something. And if I weren't able to talk to her, that would just make my job so much longer. So essentially it means that I get to kind of cut down on my research and she gets the results that she wants faster. So that's been a really beneficial thing just as an intern, and I'm sure it's like that across all of the practice areas and all of the teams. The next thing that Steve talked about, he talked about how the juniors or the less seniors were treated with more respect at Ryan and they learned quicker. And it really is true. I mean, with being able to be with my manager, she kind of knows what I have and haven't been exposed to, so she can put me on assignments where, I may do this part of a project or this or that. So again, having that direct access to your manager and working as a team, which Michael also talked about and I'll talk about in a second, has been really helpful. Okay, and like Michael said, you get to work with the same people. For us it's 3 months, but for them, you may work with them for a couple of years. So you really get to learn their ins and outs. So again, with my manager, for instance, I kind of know what she does and doesn't expect from me. So if I'm doing research, I can say, okay, this is what she's looking for, so this is what I'm going to highlight, and I move on. And it just makes my job go quicker, and it's easier for her to do her reviews. So getting to work with them, you really do get to know their ins and outs, and it just makes life a whole lot better. Another thing that I noted was that as a manager, Steve talked about how a manager could structure their team whatever way they wanted. And I think that if you're at a manager level, that's probably a huge appeal to Ryan, that you can put together your team and you can work with the experience levels that you want. And then the last thing that I noted, I know I did the interview with Michael, but when I was watching both those videos, my favorite part of both of them is still that Michael talked about the Mavs during his interview. And we're definitely in Dallas. I thought that was really funny. So that's kind of all that I thought of when I was watching those videos. If y'all haven't watched them, I'd encourage you to go watch them. They're really informational and they're really interesting. And if you have already watched them, please go back and leave us some comments or some video responses. That would be very appreciated. Thanks, y'all. Bye.